Blessed be to all of you. I want to talk about a quick subject. I've been waiting all weekend to talk about this, but it's about living in poverty. A lot of us think poverty is just not having money. Okay? I think the money portion of poverty, we know poverty to be a mindset. We know poverty as anything that makes us feel limited or lacking in a certain way. I feel like there are such things, those are the types of things that are symptoms of an underlying problem. Okay? To me, true poverty, or the poverty that comes from not having enough money, comes from something deeper within us that we feel that we're lacking. And this is what keeps a lot of us in this bondage state, in this state of oppression and imprisonment. Okay? Poverty can mean you lack a healthy body image. Poverty can mean, of course, you lack money. That's the number one definition we have in this, especially this side of the world. Poverty could mean addiction. You lack peace of mind. You lack happiness. You lack joy. You lack a social life. A lot of times people have all sorts of different things that they're lacking that are just as important as a lack of money. A lack of health. That is a big one. Okay? That leaves you in a certain state of poverty. It leaves you in depression. It leaves you in anxiety. It leaves you with all of these bad feelings. Being poverty is synonymous with oppression, is synonymous with imprisonment, is synonymous with being trapped, limited in any sort of way. So think about all of the things that you may be limited by and why you're limited by them, And a lot of the times we think money is the reason. A lot of things we can do, we don't need money for necessarily, believe it or not. So something other than money is what usually has us in this state of impoverishment. A lot of us just don't have peace of mind. That definitely is the ultimate state of poverty to be in. And that's what I want to discuss briefly this morning. Think about it. I did a topic last week sometime talking about becoming a magical badass, right? You cannot become a magical badass if you are living lacking a state of peace of mind. Peace of mind is imperative to anything that you would like to see, be, do, have, feel. If you don't have the right peace of mind and the right mindset to be at peace in your mind, it's impossible nearly for you to manifest the right outcome that you want to see. Most magicians, when you look at it, most magicians of the past, even modern day magicians, the people like, we know the names. I mean, for one of the books I had for a long time, Aleister Crowley. Right? This guy has like a billion books on magic. Okay? Think about the state of freedom you have to be in order, peace of mind you have to be in order to reach those types of conclusions, to get to the bottom of certain things, to practice and perfect certain rituals, to actually develop a real, true spiritual prowess. You need freedom. You need peace of mind. So becoming a magical badass, the very first and important step and stage to that is procuring your own freedom. Okay? What's the point of you trying to develop all of these skills? You're trying to learn divination. You're trying to do all of these other things. You can't even find a time to meditate properly. You see, that makes no sense. So all of the people who were able to elevate in their spirituality were able to do so from a place of freedom. They secured that place for themselves. What's the point, like I said, if you can't even set up an altar in your house? More than likely, either you're going to fall off your path or you're going to actually take forever to see yourself progress in your path, in this journey. If you want to see true progression, you need to secure yourself freedom. That goes with freedom of space, freedom of movement, freedom of expression, okay? All of these things. Think about it. Some of us are in countries where we're not really free. They say we're in a democracy, in a democratic land. You have freedom of expression, all of these freedoms, but when the minute you utter something, someone is offended. The minute you utter something or do something this way, you're imprisoned. You know, what freedom is that? That is not real freedom. That's oppression, if you ask me. So what if you're in a home where you can't even express yourself? Where you can't even put up an altar, like I said before, to someone? If you can't even do that, you can't even light an incense stick, for God's sake, and without somebody giving you some backlash. That's not freedom. That's oppression, okay? And we are limitless beings. As a limitless being, you should be able to do what you need to do when you need to do it. That is freedom. That is wealth. Okay, true wealth. And a lot of us think of the things that we may be lacking, and we think of it as money, like I said, tangible things that we lack, that why we're so unhappy. A lot of the times we're lacking peace of mind, first and foremost. A lot of the time we're in relationships where we are stifled, where we feel held back, we feel trapped, we feel like this is not the right situation for me. If you can't get over that subconscious feeling of being trapped, you know, you could put on a good smile in front of people, but when you're together, you're like, oh my God, like, that is not true peace of mind. And you need to secure your self-freedom. You need to actually trust the process. Like I said with the guy in prison, you could see, I don't know if I said that in this video already, I didn't ramble so long, but you can see with your mind's eye a different picture for yourself and know that you're getting out of this place, that you don't belong here. Whereas the inmates, the other inmates, all they can see is cell doors slamming, all they can see is wardens and prison guards passing up and down. That's all they can see. That's reality for them. But in your mind, it's not real for you. Because you're like, I'm not accepting this. This is not where I belong. I deserve so much better than this. And know that it's going to come because you see the signs day in and day out of it's happening, of it's coming to fruition, of things actually transforming and changing up for you to be able to move from one place to another, of freedom. Okay? All of the greatest inventions and innovations and discoveries and philosophies and all of these things were discovered by people who were free enough to practice what they believed, free enough to answer the call when they heard it. It's an inner call. You just be able to move toward that. It may not have been very easy for them in the times that they came from. The Sigmund Freuds and the Einsteins and all of those scientists, people who actually have paved the way for us now to know all that we know. It was not easy, but these people were free in a certain essence, in a certain sense, to practice the way they wanted to practice, okay? To gain that type of privacy. You need privacy. This is not something that is done for the masses. It's not something, magic is not something just like religion where we go on a church pulpit and we scream out to everybody what we're doing or how to do it, or in a corner somewhere under a tent. It's not about that. It's a more solitary thing. Even if those who are in covens, it's still a private, solitary thing where, you know, it's done in privacy. It's not something that is yelled out to the masses. Okay, so we need to remember as magicians to move away from the fearful kind of thinking and to stop letting other people oppress us, and to actually start to secure that freedom for ourselves. You know, for those of us who may be like me, thankfully I am in a situation where my husband does not really, I wouldn't say care, he cares, but it's like he's not really, he doesn't get involved in that kind of stuff. Like, you know, some people are just more inclined to spiritual practices and some people just aren't. Well, I think he's one of those people who just aren't at the time being, you know, and it's not something that I go and try to force him into, and he doesn't try to force me out of it. So I just do what I can when I can do it. That's what it's all about. Learning to do what you can when you can with what you can. Okay, that's very important. But also I want to say that coming from a place of a Christian background, coming from a a marriage to a spouse who has a Christian background. It's not always very easy, because sometimes when you see people get into arguments and stuff and they may say things, that's when you hear the truth. That's when you really hear the truth. It might be happening now peacefully, but I don't know how much further that's going to go. I have lost friends a long time ago. I have lost family members a long time ago based on my beliefs. They may not have been ballsy enough to tell me, but I don't need them to tell me. Some things you just know. So that's what I know. We need to remember our freedom, especially as women. We have power that's incomparable, okay, to other beings, other creatures, Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that because I'm starting to ramble, but guess what? You guys feel me. You understand what I'm talking about. And if you agree, I would love for you to hit like down below, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification next to it, because that is going to remind you when I'm back, or it's going to give you a heads up when I'm on live or anything like that. So please feel free to do so, and feel free to also leave a comment below, because this is a topic I love to get feedback on certain things, and this is a topic I would definitely love to get some feedback on. So guys, until I come back with another great topic, I'm going to close this up here, and I'm going to say, as I always do in closing, peace, love, and blessed be. Namaste.